everyone, I'm Kimberly Einmo, Janome's national spokesperson, and Cheeto and I, and Mr. Kim behind the camera, we are welcoming you to our studio today because we have a most special guest here. This is my great niece, Olive Wallace, and a lot of you may know her from all the posts from last summer when she was here for Aunt Kim's sewing camp. Well, she's back in the studio with me, and we have the best done before dinner project to share with you today. You want to tell them about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we are going to be making Ruanas, and
Yes.
you can have them in lots of different styles, and they're nice and warm. And
Yes.
I'm going to wear mine on the way back home to Indiana on the plane.
Yes, that's right, because it's really nice and comfy.
Yeah.
It's like, I think you said it was like wearing a blanket.
Yeah.
But lots more stylish. And it only takes about 2 hours to make. One piece of fabric and 2 hours to make. And we have all kinds of styling options for you. So you want to tell them about this one behind you first?
Yeah, so this one, we still need to finish the edges, but we didn't put a button on this one, and this one you can just drape over your shoulder.
Right.
So that's one of the styles.
Right, so it looks like this when, oh, and Cheeto's chiming in here. It looks like this if you were just gonna leave it, you know, just kind of hanging. You throw it over your shoulders, but I kind of like the option of draping it. I think it's very chic, don't you?
Yeah.
And then tell them about this Western one over here.
Yeah.
This is going home with Olive because she is a cowgirl. She loves horses and she rides. This was perfect. She picked the fabrics.
So this one we put pockets on, which was a fun add-on, and then we also put fringe on it,
Yes.
and then a big wooden button.
Isn't that cute? So there's different ways you can put the button. You can put the button like this one. We put the button a little bit down lower,
Yeah.
but up here we put it up high. So there's different ways that you can put your button and style it differently.
Yeah.
So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to tell them everything they need, but we're going to meet them over at the cutting table, right? So we'll meet you in just a second, and we'll show you everything you're going to need. So we're over at the cutting table now, and I promise you, Cheeto just came and placed himself right on the fabric because he knows it's time to film. You can even attest to the fact that we didn't even call him over.
Yeah.
He just knows. Cheeto has to be part of it. He's, you know, Mr. Janome cat. But Olive has changed into another Ruana, and this is what we're going to be demonstrating today because we have 3 very specific techniques that we're going to talk about. And so you can spin around so they can see. This one we didn't fringe, right?
Yeah, this one we didn't put fringe on it.
Right, but you can, and we'll talk about how you would do that. But we have another piece of that pretty gold fabric that she picked right here. Now, we're using fleece because when you're teaching someone to sew, it's really good to use different types of fabrics so they get experience. And we use the anti-pill fleece, or I think it might be called blizzard fleece. You can find it at your local craft shop. You know where to get it. And you only need 1 piece. So it's, as far as I know, fleece comes 60 inches wide, and you're going to need 1.5 yards. That gives you a little bit of extra to play with depending on how long you want to make it. So the dimensions that we used for our Ruanas today here were anywhere from 44 to 48 inches by 60 inches. And so because it comes off the bolt at 60 inches, it's pretty easy to get that other cut. So that's the size. We're going to just say 48 by 60 inches. And Cheeto's laying on it right now. But tell them what else we need for this project.
So to make the neck hole, you're going to need any type of cup. We just have a solo cup here.
Yep.
And then you're also,
Easy.
Yeah, you're also going to need some
Rulers.
yeah.
And you need a long one to
Yeah.
cut off the selvage edges from the fleece. And we use the
then-
short one.
Yeah, you use this one for the fringe if you want it.
Right. Use a shorter, smaller ruler to cut your fringe. And then you'll need...
And then you'll need a rotary cutter.
Right.
For just cutting it.
Right.
And then you'll need some very sharp scissors for cutting the neck hole.
Right. We have found that it's really hard to cut the neck hole with the rotary cutter.
Yeah.
It's easier with sharp scissors to get that hole because we're going to be cutting on some folds, so it's kind of thick, so you need sharp scissors.
You also want to use the sharp scissors for cutting the buttonhole because the seam ripper doesn't work very well with the fleece.
Right. It's so stretchy.
Yeah.
Sharp scissors are going to be better for cutting the buttonhole. Yeah. Right.
And then you'll need a marker, just any marker.
To mark the neck hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's about it. We also kept some scraps, and everything that you're going to sew on the machine, you want to test first on your scraps that you cut off. So just keep your scraps handy because you do a test first, right?
Yeah. And then for the buttonhole, you want to use some fray check on it.
Right. Now, fleece doesn't actually ravel, but it makes the buttonhole nice and a little stiffer and easier to cut the hole for the button when you fray check it. So we found that was really helpful, right? Yeah. So we've got 3 very special techniques that we're going to be talking about today. You can hold that up so Uncle Kent can zoom in. You want to tell them about the 3 techniques we're doing?
So this first stitch here on the sewing machine, the S6 that we're going to be using.
Yep.
It's stitch number 48, and then you're going to want the width to be like 6.0 and then your length to be 5.0.
Right, so that's like a buttonhole stitch, and that's for the edges. We like to finish the edges. It gives it a professional look.
And then the buttonhole that we're going to be using on the S6, it's number 34, and you are going to use it because it has the little like zigzag, and that's good for stretch fabrics.
Right, and so we'll talk more about that when we get there.
Yeah.
And the last thing we're going to teach them how to do
is how to sew on a button.
With your machine.
Yeah.
No more threading a needle and doing it by hand, because your machine will do it for you, right?
I'm really happy that the S6 has that.
Yeah, that's right. So let's go ahead, and we're going to have to move Sir Cheeto here and show them what we did with this pretty gold fleece. So we have it folded. Now this is folded in half, right? I've got it folded in half here. You can show them the 2 layers. And then we're going to fold it in half again. So you fold your fleece in half and in half again, and then where it has the fold up here is where we put the neck. So let's go ahead and show them what we do to mark the neck. Now you don't use the whole cup. We really want just about 1/4 of the cup on the edge here, because once you unfold all this, it makes a pretty big neck hole. So we just want a small kind of a rounded corner here, and go ahead and use probably this one and just draw the line. And we're just going to trace around that, and then Mr. Kim, you can zoom in so they can see what we're actually doing. Yeah, so we're just using like 1/4 of the solo cup. Easy, right? Can you see that? So, and this is on the folds, all right? We've got the folds here. This is why I think it's easier with sharp scissors, and Olive can do this. She's going to cut right through all those folds right on that line. It's a little bit easier with scissors here than the rotary cutter to get that. And then we end up with a really pretty neck hole. Good job, honey. Excellent. All right, and then we have to cut the slit for the front. So we'll come back in just a second and show you how we do that. All right, so now we kind of cleared things away, because now we need to talk about how we're going to cut that opening, right? And what you need to know is, because this is a rectangle, it's about 48 by 60, and you will have trimmed off all the selvage edges from your fleece. We've already done that. You have a shorter side, and we've got 2 layers here. We've got a short side and then the long side. We need to cut one of the long sides to create the split down the front. You're not going to want to cut through both pieces, because then you end up with two halves. But we want to make sure not to cut the sides that would be the short sides which are what are over your shoulder, right? So what we want to do is we want to open this up, and now you can see that neck hole, that pretty neck hole, and now what we're going to do is open it this way, like this, and we're going to fold it long ways. We're going to fold it long ways so we can cut. Now you could use scissors, but I kind of like using the rotary cutter, and we're going to line everything back up real nice and neat so that we get a nice straight cut right down the center. So let's line up the neck hole here, and we're going to cut right down the center. So it's nice and even. And it takes a little finessing, right, Olive?
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's worth it in the end. And make sure it's all, and there's no puckers or tucks in there. There we go. See that? And so this is what we're going to take off. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay your rotary ruler on top, and we're just going to put it almost right to the edge. And we're only looking to cut this right here, okay? And Olive's getting very good at using the rotary cutter with, and I'm still supervising because this is still new for her. And you got to use that upper body strength like you're doing, right? Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now stop, and we'll readjust the ruler a little bit. All right, can you reach that, or should we pull it towards you?
I think I can reach it.
All right.
But I think it needs to
Oh, we're over the crack. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
There we go. Perfect. Yay. And that's all you lose. Yeah. But now we have a beautiful front opening, and the back is still together. So she wants to fringe this one, and so we're going to show you what we do for fringing. Okay, so we're going to take one layer at a time, and this takes a little time, and we'll do a little and then speed it up through the magic of TV and have your cousin Andrew, who's going to edit this, he's going to speed it up. But you want to tell him about the measurements we use?
Yeah, so you're going to want it at about an inch.
For each fringe piece.
For each fringe, yeah. But you want it like 5 inches long.
Yeah. So, and you want to get that? Here we go. So we've got 1 inch and then the 5-inch mark on the bottom. She's going to cut and then reposition the ruler. Perfect. She got to be a pro at this. Yep. And make sure, oh, this is a great tip. We want to tell them about that pinky off the ruler right there, because that holds the ruler in place, right?
Yeah.
That's the best rotary cutting tip, is keeping your pinky on the mat next to the ruler, and then the ruler won't slip. So that's a great, great tip, and she's doing it perfectly. I'm so proud of you. Do you have any idea how proud of her I am? Olive is 11, just turned 11. And boy, oh boy, she has just blown me away with her creativity and all the things that she's making. And she is fearless when it comes to sewing, which is great. All right, we're gonna, through the magic of this, we're gonna speed it up and watch her cut all of this all the way down.
So on this one, I decided to just fringe the front, and I just wanted to show you how we did that. And
it's all done.
Yeah. It's all done.
So it doesn't take long at all, does it?
Mm-mm.
It really doesn't. And then we're going to go over to the machine next because we have something very exciting, right?
Yeah.
I think somebody got a Christmas present. What was that?
I got a Janome S6 sewing machine.
Yes. So we want to introduce that machine to you,
Yeah.
and we're going to head that way next. So Olive was here last summer for Aunt Kim's sewing camp,
Yeah.
and we made outfits, we did quilting, we did a little bit of everything, and she blew me away with her enthusiasm and her willingness to learn. In fact, I could barely keep up with her because she was just so ready to be up early in the morning sewing, and we sewed until late at night. And so for Christmas, Janome and I decided to treat her to the Janome S6, which is the perfect machine. It has hundreds of stitches. It is such a fabulous machine for anyone starting out or tweens, anyone who needs a computer that sews and has lots of options and will grow with her probably all the way through college. So what are some of your favorite things that you love about this machine?
Okay, so I love that it has so many stitches.
Yes.
It has like hundreds of them, yeah.
And alphabets?
Yeah, and then you can also do letters, which is good. And then it comes with a little pin cushion.
I love that.
That just snaps in right there, which is very helpful.
And this is the 10th anniversary edition,
yeah, it's
right?
the 10th anniversary edition. So it comes with some like extra little things, and it's like all the things are like blue. So it came with these really cool blue bobbins.
Yep.
And then in
the
there
case?
is, and it has a case. And then in there it has like a little screen wiper, which is good if it like gets dirty or something.
And a blue bag to hold all your accessories.
Yes, and it has a whole bunch of accessories, and it just has a little blue bag that you can put it all in.
And yesterday we went and got our nails done, and she chose blue to go with her blue machine, the blue trimmed machine, which I thought was great.
And then I like that it has like a little tray in the little accessory compartment.
Right.
And you can put like some of your favorite feet that you use the most in your bobbins.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun. And then it also has a little place to hold your screwdriver right here, and this has to come out a lot sometimes.
Yeah, we use that to change our feet sometimes, or
And then
not all the feet, just like if we put the AccuFeed
Yeah.
Flex foot on, because that comes with it too.
yeah, and then there's a little holder for the stylus, which is very good because you definitely don't want to lose this.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've had so much fun. It comes with this extension table, and we
Yeah.
have had so much fun playing this week while we've been making these wonderful Ruanas. So let's get back to that. And we're going to talk about, again, she kind of mentioned it, we're going to be using this buttonhole stitch. It's actually stitch number 48 on the S6, but we changed the stitch width and stitch length. So we did the stitch width to 6.0 and the stitch length to 5.0. Now again, you're going to want to keep some of those pieces that you've cut off, your little scrap pieces, just to go ahead and test it first before you sew right on your Ruana. But we're going to get set up to show you how she's going to do this stitch, and we're using the F foot to do this.
Okay, so first we're going to start off by finishing the edges of the Ruana, and it's really nice because it has very bright lights so that you can see, and that's very helpful. And we're going to be doing stitch 48.
Right.
So this one, and the little holders right there, and then you just do that, and then you can put it all the way up.
We want stitch width at 6.0 and stitch length at 5.0. So you can adjust accordingly to what the effect you want on your Ruana, but we just thought this was pretty.
Yeah.
And now?
And then if you're using, you can either use the A foot or the F foot, but if you're using the F foot, you can keep the edge of the fleece with that little red arrow.
So you keep that, yeah, she's watching the red arrow. It makes it easy to line up.
Yep.
And you can control the speed too. Now she's going about a medium speed, which is great.
Yep.
And it doesn't take any time at all.
I'm using the foot pedal right now, but if you're doing like a buttonhole or putting the button on, the start-stop button right there is very helpful, and I'm really glad that it has that.
I am one proud aunt, let me tell you. She's a girl after my own heart. All right, so Uncle Kent, or Mr. Kim in the studio, we're going to have him film her finishing this edge with that buttonhole stitch. It's actually called a buttonhole stitch, but really I think it's like an edge finishing stitch. And it just looks real pretty on the edges. Again, this fabric doesn't ravel, so you don't even have to finish it. But I think it just adds a nice, professional, lovely touch to your Ruana.
Okay, so I have finished sewing all of the edges and finishing them. One thing that you need to know is that you don't want to sew on the fringe. Yeah, and
so we just start the stitching or stop it
yeah,
right
so
where
you
the
start
fringe.
or stop it right where the fringe starts.
Right.
And so now we're ready to put the buttonhole on, and on the S6, it's stitch number 34. And this one is specifically for stretch fabrics.
Yeah, I wanted to point out here that the manual that comes with the machine has so much good information in it. And on page 48, it actually talks about all the different buttonhole styles that they have. And it actually tells you that stitches 34, 35, and 36 are for stretch fabrics. It allows for give. So when the fabrics stretch, it won't break the stitching. It won't break the threads. Something else I really love about this is right in the front of the manual, there are instructional videos for the S6 on page 4, and it's just a little QR code. So there's all kinds of great information in this, and you want to keep it handy. And we've already referred to it a lot because there's so much good information in it. Okay.
One thing that I really find helpful in this is the automatic thread cutter, and then the automatic threader to thread your needle. And those are very helpful.
Do you want to show them? Because I think the thread's out right now. Do you want to go ahead and show them how easy it is?
Yeah.
She's already got it through the machine, and when we come down here, there's a couple little places that we catch, and that little pin there, and it's very easy to do. And one smooth movement, and it's threaded. I love it. Okay, so now we want to set up the machine and talk about the automatic buttonholer foot, right? All right, I'll take that from you.
So
we've become pros at this week, haven't we? Yeah.
So where you put the button is you just put your button right back here. And
I'm going to show them the whole foot, what it looks like.
Yeah.
And this comes with the machine.
Yeah. So this buttonhole foot, it actually has a
I think they call it a stabilizer plate.
Yeah, a stabilizer plate.
Yeah, and we will use that, but just for putting the button in, you don't have to have that snapped on.
Goes right in. But yeah, you don't have that whenever you're putting the button in.
But we're going to use it because it's going to help stabilize this very stretchy fabric.
Yeah, it helps stabilize fabrics whenever they're stretchy.
You want to show them the button and where it goes.
So you put the button right here, and right now it's all the way like stretched out. So it just sits right in there, and then, oh goodness, and then you just push it right in.
And that's how the machine knows how big to make the buttonhole, which is so awesome, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to put the stabilizer plate on, and she's going to change the foot and show you how easy that is. And then we're going to set up the machine for making this buttonhole. All right. So here we go. You remove the foot. And that's real easy because there's just a little lever back there that snaps the foot off or unsnaps the foot.
Yeah.
And
And so this, it's actually up right now, but if you push it up a little bit more, it goes up
way
even
high.
more, and you can hold it, and then it's very easy to just snap it right on.
Yay, perfect.
And then you don't want to forget to put this on.
Right, so there's
This
a
little
little
thing.
lever back here that you lower. We'll do it again so Uncle
Yeah.
Kent or Mr. Kim can see. We lower this lever, and that's how it's going to know exactly the right size for your button. But we have to set up the machine.
So,
And what was the stitch we found that we really liked? It was stitch number
34. So you're just gonna go to your little screen and clear 34, and then it's all ready.
We used the default settings,
Yeah,
meaning
we
we
used the
didn't
default
change
settings.
anything because it was just perfect the way it is. And this is what it's going to look like. We're going to use yellow thread, but this is that stitch and how it's going to look once we get it stitched out. All right, so we'll move this. And then, we also marked on the right side of our Ruana, we marked where the buttonhole's going to go.
Yeah.
And now we're going to put that fabric where? In between the plate,
Yeah, you want to make sure that it's in between the plate and the actual
the
foot.
stabilizer plate, and the buttonhole or foot. So this is really great because a lot of people don't use their buttonhole or foot, especially if you're a quilter or you're not making garments. But it's really fun to know how to use these, and once you use this, it's so much fun watching the machine do it all that I really encourage people to bring it out. And this is a great technique to teach somebody who's just learning to sew. So we've become pros at it this week, and it's very easy to do. So we have the fabric in between the stabilizer plate and the buttonhole or foot. And there's 2 more things you need to do, right?
Yeah. So you need to lower the feed dogs, which on the S6, you just slide this little lever back here, and the feed dogs just stop. And you gotta lower your presser foot. But I'm gonna use this start-stop button, so I have unplugged my foot pedal.
There we go. There we go.
Yep.
And now it's gonna do its thing. So make sure you get this on camera, Uncle Kent, because this is amazing.
Really
and this
cool.
is why I really like that stabilizer plate, because especially on these stretchy fabrics, it holds the fabric securely so it doesn't slide. And then it finishes it beautifully. And then you cut. Isn't that a neat feature?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to slide it out, and look what we've got, a beautiful buttonhole. That's gorgeous. So now you want to put a little of that fray check on the back, right? So you can show that, and this is the front side. So just put a little fray check back here.
And you kind of just want to like drizzle it on.
And let it dry.
Yeah, and then it takes a few minutes to dry. And then also on the back, it sometimes will leave a few little loose threads.
Well, let's wait. Yeah, cut off the loose threads,
Yeah,
but
you
we'll
just
wait
wanna
till it
cut
dries,
the
and we'll
loose
come back and
threads.
show how we cut that buttonhole. Okay, and now we're going to get ready to sew the button on by machine.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we have done the buttonhole, now we need to mark where the button will go. So
We overlapped this. We laid it out flat, and we overlapped it a little bit, right?
yep.
All right.
And then just right under where your buttonhole is, you just want to put a little mark for where to put your button.
That's right. Perfect.
Yep.
That's going to be great. Now we haven't cut the buttonhole yet because it's still
Yeah.
drying from the fray check, but we'll do that before the end of the video, right?
Yeah.
And now we're going to show how easy it is to sew buttons on by machine, because there's a special foot that comes with it just for sewing buttons.
Okay, so now that we've marked where our button will go, now we need to sew it on by machine. And this is called the T-foot, and it is a special foot.
That comes with it.
Yeah, and it comes with the machine. And
he wants to see it up close. Put it right there.
And it is made for just putting buttons on.
And it's got the little blue for the feet, or the little toes on that foot. It's got this blue sort of grippy thing that holds the button in place. Right?
And this goes on a special way. So
there's 2 pins on the foot.
Yeah, so on the ankle, there's a little like empty groove right there, and this back lever,
that back pin, right, goes right on the back.
Yeah, it just snaps in there, and then, well, it doesn't snap, but it just slides in there, and then this bottom one will snap into the normal spot.
And that's how easy it is to put that button T-foot on. And now we're going to set up the machine and lower that T-foot onto the button where it's going to go. And she's going to line it up. She's brilliant at this.
And then it looks like we actually need to thread our needle. And it just goes in there. And then you also want to get it on there that holds the needle.
Olive, I like your blue nails.
Thanks. And then you're going to want to get it in between this white little stick and the black one. And then it'll go up there. And then back here it has a little thread cutter. And you just cut it. And then your automatic threader will thread it for you.
That's so great. It couldn't be easier. Now, stitch number for this, and you can show Uncle Kent where it is on here.
Yep.
I think it's this stitch. It's stitch 38. And it shows a button.
Yeah.
And so she's going to select that. And we will show you how to adjust this for your particular button. All right, so she's selected the stitch, and right now it defaults to the width of 3.5, but we use the flywheel or the hand wheel on the right side to lower it into the left side of the hole, or the left hole first.
Yeah.
Right?
So you want to line up the left hole, and then the needle will go into there.
And then you swing it over and see if it's going to go in the hole. It's not quite big enough, right? So then we increase the stitch width, and this takes just a little finagling until you can see if it's going to freely go into both holes. And I think that was good. We just had to increase it by up to 4.0, and that's it. And now we have the, you took out the foot pedal. You could use the foot pedal, but the start-stop button is so much fun.
And then you do want to move the feed dogs for this one, I think.
Right.
Yeah. And then just click the start-stop.
Right. And that's it.
Very quick and easy.
And that button is now secure.
Yep.
You want to hold it up and show? There it is. Look at that. Could that be any easier? That was amazing. And so we have covered some really great techniques today, haven't we?
Yeah.
We have talked about how to finish your Ruana on the raw edges, how to cut your fringe, how to sew the buttonhole on fleece.
I think we still need to cut our buttonhole.
Oh, we do. We do, and you've got scissors. I think I'm going to have you use these scissors right here, and she's going to show you right here how to cut the buttonhole. You're absolutely right.
So you kind of want to fold it at first because you can't just go straight in. So you kind of want to fold it right at the end there.
Right.
And then you just want to make
a tiny little
cut.
Just to kind of get.
And then you're going to put your scissors in there. You're just going to.
Now, on some fabrics that are woven, you can absolutely use a seam ripper.
Yeah.
But we found on this stretchy fabric that it was easier to get a better cut by using very sharp scissors.
Yeah.
And you want to show them how great that button fits right through there? Isn't that perfect?
Just goes right in.
Yep, and comes right up. It's perfect. So now I think we have another special guest to show who's going to model one, and we'll bring her in next, right? So this has probably been my most favorite done before dinner project because Olive and I did it together. And I'll tell you what, she has made this so much fun and so creative. And we hope you will try your own Ruana. Again, it doesn't take much and you can get it done before dinner, right? And Janome has made it so fun because the S6 is a great machine and so perfect for teens and tweens or anybody that has a real desire to sew and create. And something I forgot to mention was it's a 9mm machine. So the decorative stitches, I mean, that needle can swing really wide and there's just tons of decorative stitches. So I think we're going to find something really clever to do with my Ruana next. But before we leave, we have a very special guest, right? That we're going to bring in another guest. Olive's mom and my niece. Come on in. This is Sophie Wallace, and this is Olive's mama. And we surprised her by making her a Ruana.
I love it. I love it so much.
Very chic.
Yeah, I will wear mine on the plane also. And I am a teacher, and so this will be perfect on these cold days, teaching to be cute and comfortable in the classroom.
Yes, and that pretty button that Olive picked out to go with yours. We had so much fun. I think there's going to be some for your grandma. Yeah, I mean, she's going to go home and keep making these. So we hope you will try making a Ruana. And we can't wait to hear what you think. Add your comments in below in the video. And until next time, and we will definitely get these pretty ladies back because I love having them. Not only did we have a girls' day at the salon yesterday, but we will get them back in the studio. So until then, we want to say thank you, Janome.
Thank you.
And bye, everybody.